This was an industrial tract of land. It was about to be foreclosed on for tax debt. It had a $400,000 tax bill. It was worth about $1 million. And the owner had been in bankruptcy. And we came across it and realized there was like 10 days till the sale. And we started looking at it. And originally it came across my desk because of complexity. They went back and started looking at the data and said, no, dude, I think this is worth $1 million. So I said, all right, if it's worth $1 million, let's talk. So through the bankruptcies, the trustee, let's see how this, God, I have to remember the man was filing bankruptcy and the beneficiary of the trust was an entity that had filed bankruptcy, but the trustee was not bankrupt. It was some lawyer who was holding some of these assets. And as they were going through the bankruptcy process, they included some of these assets. But as we were realizing that, we said, hold on, let's go talk to the seller. So we go back to the seller and say, look, would you take $25,000? 23,000, I think was the number. The guy's lawyer says, we'll take anything because we know what's wrong and all. So we give the guy a contract for 20-ish thousand. And I say, look, I'll give you 3,000 today as a down payment and let's close. And then it's an installment sale. So we'll give you the balance within 6 months or when we close. And if we don't, you just get to keep the down payment or the first installment. He said, done. So we signed it all up. I was ready to buy this. They said, well, some company's involved and they got deeds. The neighbor who owns a manufacturing plant calls us and says, that's my property. I'm like, oh, I got a deed. You don't. He wants to expand his plant. 0.5 million is what our appraisal is coming back at. So we go to the guy and say, hey, appraisal is 1.5. He says, it was going to sell for 400 grand. I say, well, it's not. Respect that, please. He comes back and says, I'll give you $1 million. So now I'm like, all right, our market's kind of wacky. My grandpa always used to say a bird in the hand's worth two in the bush.
I was about to say that.
Do you have the $1 million? He shows it to us. I say, we'll do it if we close in 10 days. So we closed in 10 days and our settlement statement was $1 million minus the 400 grand to the tax office. Plus there's some post-judgment taxes. Plus we had legal fees. We walked away with a check for $409,000. We walked away from the closing and we only had $7,000 out of pocket to get in the deal. We walked away with a $409,000 check. 18 days. Now, a really important thing for people to understand is don't be intimidated by this. Like, this is it. Here it is. And it exists. So please take that and do something with it.